If ever in your life your mind was fighting against you, let's say you were working on your business, you were learning something, you were doing something that was supposed to reach your goals, and your mind was like, yeah, just stop that. Go drink a coffee, go eat a hamburger, go get a cookie, or just eat some sugar or anything like that, then this video is exactly for you. Because today what I'm going to teach you is going to allow you to have complete control over your mind, so you can finally stop having these negative or just distracting thoughts, as you can reach your goals much faster and just become the type of person who you want to be. Okay? So why don't we just get started about it, because this is going to be a bit longer one. I do have to explain some things more in depth. So just simply sit back in your chair, just lay back and just let me explain exactly what this is about. So let's just start. Because firstly, before I could get to actually how can you take complete control over your mind, we have to explain two different topics. One is being a problem topic and the other is the goal. Now, what does this mean? Let me explain. Firstly, right now you have goals in your mind. There are goals in your mind. Let's say you want to reach 10, 20, 30, 40, 50k a month. But you haven't reached that yet. And that's why you're watching this video, to get some kind of information to reach that goal. Now, with that said, there is a problem in your life, in your business, in learning, in information or something. There's a problem because you haven't reached your goal. And why I'm saying this is because there is a very foundational principle that you must understand, is that business problems doesn't exist. They are all personal ones. Every single business problem you have comes from a personal problem in your mind that's not allowing you to make the business go as the way it should. Now, let me say an example. Let's say you want to do cold outreach and you want to reach 10k per month. That's your goal. And you sit down to do your cold outreach. And when you sit down, your mind is like, don't do it, don't send the cold outreach, it's not going to work, it's not, blah, 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 blah. And like, that means that it's not a business problem, that's a personal one. Like, cold outreach works. We both know that, because there are a lot of people making millions upon millions of dollars by cold outreach. So with that said, like, the only problem you have about cold outreach are personal ones, and exactly in your mind. Let's say you watched the video, you bought a course, you know how to do cold outreach, you have a system which you can use to do cold outreach, but your mind doesn't want you to do the cold outreach because of the personal mental state problem that you have. So this is the first principle that you have to understand. This is crucial. If you don't understand this, we cannot, solve the problem. But if you understand that your business problems are just personal ones, especially mental ones, that we can talk about the next thing, which is the goal. What do I mean by the goal? Now, with the goal, what do I mean is, if you want to reach 10k per month, meaning you want to make $10,000 per month, right now, who you are as a person, you cannot actually do that. Now, what do I mean by that is that, let's say you're making 1 to 2k a month, or 0 to 2k, doesn't matter how much, you are not the type of person who can make $10,000 a month. Because we do not reach our goals, we become the type of person who can. Meaning, it's not about me right now, who I can reach my goal of 10, 20, 30, 40, any more, and any kind of goal, but it's me, the person, who have to become in order to reach that type of goal. It's not about chasing after a number like making 10k per month, it's becoming the type of person who can make 10k per month. So if you want to make $10,000 a month, you have to become a person who can make $10,000 a month. That person has some traits, has some skills, and has some kind of ideas about the world of how you can make $10,000 a month. Now, this is the second principle you must understand. We do not reach our goals, we become the type of person who can. And I'm going to just simply clear this, because this is what I want you to understand. If you're not reaching your goal, it can be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50k a month, doesn't matter how much. It's all about you being right here, and you want to become this type of person, but there is in between this stage some problems which are all mental ones. So if you understand that problems in the business are only personal ones, or especially mental ones, and you know that you have to become the type of person who has some skills and traits and blah blah blah, we both know that it all doesn't want to happen because of some mental problems you have. You do not want it, you do not want it enough, your mind doesn't want you to do it, or these things where your mind is really fighting against you. And this is the only thing why you are not reaching your goals. These mental problems that you face throughout the day, throughout working. So if you want to reach your goals, 20, 30, blah, 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 any kind of amount per month, it's all about solving the mental state problems that you have in order to reach that. So exactly how to do this, because this is what we are going to talk about. If you understand that only the problems you have before reaching your goals are mental ones, then you're going to learn right now exactly what to do to solve this. So let me write it down. I've been using this principle for a time now, and it has been working exceptionally well for me, and I really love it, and I know for a fact this is going to change your entire life. There are simply two stages when it comes to changing your mental state. You're taking full control of your mind. One is acceptance and second is change. So let's talk about acceptance first. What does this exactly mean and how does this work? Then, let me say a very easy example. Let's say there is a full-grown man and his child, who's Peter, and the grown adult is John. Let's say they both together went into a store and the kid sees something. The kid is like, oh my God, this is such a good thing, I really want it. And John says like, no Peter, we cannot do it. Then Peter is going to be angry, he's going to, make a mess, he's going to be, hysterical. Then if Peter is really hysterical, there is just two things John can do. One is just really forcing Peter to stop doing it, like stop, 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 or being calm and really relaxed and saying like, no John, we cannot do this. Just simply hugging the child and saying like, no, we are not going to do this. Now, this is exactly the same with your mind. If you are right now John, the full-grown man, and your mind is like Peter, the little kid, your mind, out of some reason, is going to have some needs, some desires, and your mind is going to be hysterical, like, oh my God, I want this, I want this, I want this. And there's two choices you can make. You can be like, no, we need to work, just Peter, shut up, we need to work. Or you can be like, okay, stop. Like, I do understand your concern, brain, mind, but this is not something we can do right now. So, this is what I mean by acceptance. When something comes up in your life, in your mind, you can accept that state and completely just delete it, like literally. And why I know for a fact this is actually working is what Carl Jung said. He said this, like, if you resist, it will persist. So what does that mean? If there is something in your mind just really bugging you, and if you resist to just talk about it, to understand it and just really solve it, then your mind is going to persist it, like do it, just push it back. Think in this way, like when something comes up in your life and you don't want to, you just don't really want to just deal with it, like really just don't want to, then your mind is going to be like, again, because what you resist is really going to persist in your mind. So how can you delete these negative thoughts, these limiting beliefs? Is just simply accepting it. And if you accept it, the first stage of this entire process is done. Because if you accept it, you're going to become into a calm state of mind. Because as Peter, the little child, who is going to be hugged, and John is going to simply explain like, hey, we cannot do this, like Peter, sorry, we cannot do this, like you have to understand this. Then Peter is going to be calm again and rested. In the same way, you do it with your mind. Hey, mind, like don't be hysterical, we cannot do this, like it's not, there is no reason to do this because we cannot do this. In the same way, you're going to explain this to your mind. Now that's the first step of this entire process, but what is going to be the next one? This is what we call the change. Now, what do I mean by the change? So this is something I'm going to explain and then give an example. So, as mentioned, if you want to become a type of person who can reach your goals, there is only mental problems. But the question becomes, how can you change your mental state? Like, if you have accepted and you are, in a neutral, good state, this is still going to come up, like new problems again and again and again are going to come up. So how can you change this? How can you change and become the type of person who doesn't have these mental state problems so he can reach the goals? Now, this is the change part. And this is my idea on how you can change your mental state as the easiest way possible. And what do I mean by that is this. If right now you're not the type of person who you wanted to become or you want to be right now is because of decisions you made earlier. If right now I'm not making as much money as I want, it's because of decisions I made earlier. So if you want to become the type of person who makes XYZ amounts that you desire, then what you need to do is change the decisions that you're making. Meaning that you're right now here, and you are right, this is the type of person who you want to become, making 10, 20, 30, 40K a month. And if you want to become this type of person, there's a lot of ways how you can reach this, or there are a lot of trajectories you can go to reach this goal. And every single day, you have to make decisions, and so when you're going towards this way, like you're trying to solve problems, you're trying to work, every single day, decisions are going to come up. Like a decision to work or not work, or work 1 more hour. And there's going to be decisions where you can decide which one to do in order to be this type of person. And what I found out to be the best way to really become this type of person is every single day when you're making a decision about something, so you reach a decision point, you think about what this type of person would decide, and if you only decide how this type of person would decide, you're inevitably going to become that type of person. If you're right now making 1 to 2K per month, you're making decisions from your mental state that you shouldn't be making, because that's going to circle back to become the same type of person you are right now. And that's why first step is to accept right now your stage. Like, yeah, I am this type of person right now. Like, I have to accept that. I cannot just, create some new type of person who I am not right now. I have to accept that right now I am this type of person. Then if you accept that, you can change who you are by, when you're going to a decision, understanding what would this person decide and then doing that. If I had to say an example, like let's say you sit down to work, you're working and your mind is like, go get a coffee, go stop working, do this, do that, just blah, 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 blah. Then you can be like, hey, I do understand that. Like, I understand what you mean, because I am not the type of person yet. Like, I understand, like, this is us right now. But because I want to reach my goal, I am not this type of person. So my mind, like, please let me work because I want to become this type of person. And you just sit there and you're going to continue your work. Or if it's like learning something, then that. If it's something completely different, then that. Doesn't matter what it is exactly. What matters is you make the decision from the perspective of who you want to become, after you have accepted right now your situation. Because if you don't, you're not going to change, because what you resist persists. So this is exactly how you can take complete control over your mind and just become the type of person who you want to become in order to reach your goals. And guys, this is the exact thing. Like, I hope you understand this. If not, I'm going to do a video again and again and again. I hope it was clear to you. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.